Yo, what's going on, guys? R.I.Pierre here, using that max power turn on YouTube right now. It is 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm finally doing a proper GPC video, but I'm going to be a little bit more quiet than usual. It's probably turn it up whenever I do render this, but yeah, so it's gonna be a little more quiet than usual. So I think that's the only point I wanted to get across. So here we are. We're back in the GPC with week 5. There was supposed to be a mid-season tournament, but my opponent, Uzi, forfeited. He just wasn't feeling it at the time. So that didn't go up because we never had the battle in the first place. Anyway, this week we take on the Toronto Torterras, Omega Zero. The Omega Zero. The links will be in the description below. Sorry, it is, like I said, it's really early in the morning and I cannot function at max capacity. Anyway, I can function, just not the best. Anyways, so we're playing against him this week, and he has a very monstrous team. It has a very high damage output, and yeah, pretty much every Pokemon on his team, with the exception being Dusclops, has the ability to output tons of damage, like I just said a few minutes ago. Good job, Pierre. Anyways, moving on. So let's actually look at his team. You know what my team is. For those of you newcomers, I will link the draft in the description. It'll also be at the top right of your screen. Click the I and go find the draft video, and you can go look through there. Anyways, and I mean, I can go through it later if anything. But yeah, so we're playing against the Toronto Torterras this week, like I said. His team consists of Mega Ultria, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Rotom Heat, Roserade, Gastrodon, Honchkrow, Machamp, Dusclops, Floatzel, Cacturne, and Gigalith. So he's got a lot of bulk and he has a lot of power behind this team. The only real drawback is that nothing's really fast, with the exception being Excadrill in the sand and Ultria after a Dragon Dance boost or two. And then there's Floatzel, of course, who's naturally fast. But besides that, not bad. But he does have priority in the forms of Honchkrow's Sucker Punch, Floatzel's Aqua Jet, and Cacturne's Sucker Punch, which could be very problematic, especially with the fact that most of the time I am going to bring Meloetta, so he should know that as well. And yeah, the combination of Tyranitar, Excadrill, and Mega Ultria in and of itself is actually incredibly threatening, with Tyranitar being able to switch into Dark-type attacks to Ultria. Wow. Excuse me. With Ultria being able to switch into Fighting-type attacks that Tyranitar can take. And actually, you know what? I don't know. And then Tyranitar taking, and basically Ultria takes Water, Grass, and what else? Water, Grass, and Fighting-type attacks for Tyranitar. Like I said, I'm kind of out of my mind a little bit right now. But yeah, so this team is very threatening. There's not one thing on this team that I can leave out of my mind when I'm team building, and that's what made it actually the most difficult team to team build for, which is kind of like, I don't know, I won't say sad, but I barely spent time team building. I spent maybe like half an hour, 40 minutes on this team that I built, and I spent 20 minutes on the last slot of the team, so that should say something. And then like a couple minutes before the battle started on one move on one bond. But yeah, so I'm just hanging out. So I've already got, yeah, I went through this 3 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. So let's go hop on Team Builder and see what I decide to. Oh gosh, yeah, that was like the one I want to say that for last. Oh well, no one paused that, so they didn't see it fast enough. More than likely, maybe, I don't know. Alright, anyways, so I knew I wanted to bring Suicune this week because of the immense presence of rock types on his team, or well, Mon's weak to water, such as Gigalith, Tyranitar, Excadrill, Rotom Heat, and his, yeah, that was it. But plus the fact that it also gets Ice Beam, which helps me out against his Mega Ultria, his Roserade, although not as much against Roserade because of that special defense, and the fact that Suicune more than likely won't do tons of damage unless you're running an offensive set. But here we are, Suicune, only dog in trio with Chesto Berry, Pressure, Ice Beam, Scald, Rest, and Toxic. I have made it a point not to use Crocoon. 1, because it's not really needed. 2, because it's kind of expected. And 3 is just, I don't know, it's not really fun for me. So I run other stuff. This is my workaround for Crocoon, which is Rest plus Chesto Berry, which basically gives me Second Wind, and don't live forever, of course, but it does keep me pretty well. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, so we got 248 HP, just max physically defensive set, basically the Crocoon set without the crow, and all Suicune. Yeah, okay, moving on. I'm so sorry. Next up we have Landorus I, Lando Griffin, Life Orb, Sheer Force, Rock Slide, Earth Power, Psychic, and Knockoff. I was supposed to switch Knockoff to Sludge Wave last second, but I completely forgot, and I entered the battle with Knockoff, and well, actually wait, no, I calced it, and Earth Power did 88%, so as long as Ultria had taken some prior damage, I wasn't scared of it, which is the reason I ran Knockoff instead, which helped me against Dusclops and Rotom Heat if necessary to get a, not a Scarf, but like, because I wouldn't be faster than Scarf, but to get like Specs off, or to get off, what else? No, Rock Slide was for Rotom Heat, so what was Knockoff for besides Dusclops? I cannot remember. Let's look at this team again. I'm sorry, it's really unprofessional. But, I don't know. I guess it's just a safe move in general, because he's definitely not switching Ultria into this, so I basically get a free item off. And that's basically, I guess that's what I was going for. So I have 84 HP, 4 attack, no defense, 252 special attack, negative special defense nature, so naive nature, with 168 into speed, which allows me to outspeed every mon on this team except for Floatzel, as long as they're not scarfed or boosted. So I outspeed the fastest mon on this team besides Floatzel is Rosa.I.Pierre, I believe, at base 90, which reaches 306. But and I went to 308 because after wait, yeah. Okay, I was tripping for a minute there because I saw there was 8 remaining. But yeah, it jumps from 308 down to 306 with 1 EV, with 4 EVs, I guess. So 308 it is, and I'm perfectly fine. So Rock Slide was mainly because the threat of Honchkrow of course was looming over me, and I didn't deal with Murkrow all that well with Landorus before. I mean, I did have Rock Slide, of course, but I played it incredibly safe and ended up losing the 1v1 to that Murkrow. Oof. I won the battle, but still. Anyways, I've spoken too much on this. Let's move on. So next up we have Belle the Celebi with Colbur Berry, Natural Cure, why am I still in this room? Okay, well, it's just a space. Oh well. Belle the Celebi with Colbur Berry, Natural Cure, Giga Drain, Recover, Thunder Wave, and Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock was because I wanted that utility, well, then Thunder Wave of course as well, the yellow magic as some people call it. Recover and Giga Drain are self-explanatory, Giga Drain being the stab move of choice, doing decent amounts of damage while also allowing me to heal up. I mean, Recover allows me to heal up on switches, or basically to waste Sucker Punch turns and stuff like that. I was running Colbur Berry because of the fact that he could be running Pursuit on his T-Tar, and the fact that Cacturne could also come through with Sucker Punch, and the fact that he could also Pursuit or Sucker Punch me on his Honchkrow, which I would be able to just T-Wave straight up. I mean, also he could have just Brave Birded me in my face, but I did run just enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Max Honchkrow as well, at 266 speed, because 265 is what Jolly Max Honchkrow reaches, and yeah, so this way I would get a Thunder Wave off no matter what, or Rocks up no matter what, and he wouldn't really have too many opportunities to either get rid of Rocks or well, no, there's no or. It's either get rid of Rocks, but I couldn't paralyze his. Forget it. Okay, yeah, I was talking about paralyzing his Honchkrow. So, yeah, there was nothing else I wanted to say besides that. Like I said, I am very sorry. Next up, we have Bao the Dredagon. I changed his name because I wanted him to make it a bow down to the set. So I've got Choice Scarf, Sheer Force, Outrage, Gunk Shot, Rock Slide, Superpower. So originally I had Fire Punch over Outrage, because of the fact that he has Rosa.I.Pierre and stuff around, and Fire Punch, of course, super effective, but Outrage's damage isn't too far off, and it is stab, and the fact that I could run through his team once Ultria is gone. This was supposed to be an anti-against lead Ultria, which is why, well, you'll see, but I did lead with it. So I've got enough speed to outspeed Mega Ultria with Jolly Nature at max, and although no one really runs that, it's really Adamant max, but that also allows me to outspeed his Excadrill because more than likely it's going to be Adamant. In fact, because he has Sand, it's 100% going to be Adamant. Whatchamacallit? What else is there? Oh yeah, it was for defensive Rotom Heat as well, which I think it takes like half from a Rock Slide. Although it probably will just Wigless me in return. And then I think that's all I really had it for. But yeah, superpowers for Tyranitar, and well, basically hits everything except for Ultria rather decently. Ultria and of course Dusclops, which doesn't get hit by it at all. Rock Slide, Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot was for Ultria. I wanted to get it out turn 1, take it down because I am Scarf Dreadingon, and then be a hero. Yep. Anyways, sorry, I'm kind of listening out to see if anybody's awake at the same time. So next up we have low 5, the Crobat. Oh yeah, did I say anything else? Nope, I told you about the speed I was running. Okay, so next up we have low 5, the Crobat, with Super Fang, Roost, Defog, and Brave Bird. So I had originally put U-Turn over Defog, but then I realized that because of the fact I wasn't bringing Mega Diancie, or Mega Diancie, or Princess Dianacy, as some people might know her as, I realized that I needed another form of hazard control because, I mean, her Magic Bounce wouldn't really be covering me too much, considering what I would have to switch into. But besides that, I needed the extra bit of safety. Reliable safety, so I decided to run with the Fog so that I could keep rocks off my side of the field, as it's just beneficial because the only mons on this team that can recover are Suicune and Celebi, which is actually more than what most teams would oh well, and Crobat, yeah, which is more than what most teams have, which is why I shouldn't have said only, but still it's annoying, especially with Crobat being weak to them and everybody else taking 12%, and Yep, that's exactly what I meant to say. Oh my goodness, this is going to be fun to listen to over again. So, I have 248 HP, 8 attack, 116 defense, and 136 speed. So I ran enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Floatzel. Although, probably should be running Adamant, considering what he has to go against. I just decided to put the rest of the EVs into defense and then add 2 to attack. Round out my defense at 225 just to make it look nice, and because it wouldn't really benefit me more to have those 2 extra EVs into it, and then just put 8 into attack. And there we go. And then last but not least, the final mon of the set, or final mon of the team, excuse me, Meloetta, Christina with Assault Vest, Serene Grace, Return, Relic Song, Knockoff, and Close Combat. Now this slot of my team was a toss-up, for lack of a better word. I was thinking either Mienshao, Mega Diancie, or Meloetta. And I looked at my team, I had 3 special attackers, one of which was powerful, and then 2 physical attackers, only one of which is doing damage. Although Crobat in his own right does a good amount, especially, well, does a good amount in his own right, as in he has Super Fang, and his Brave Birds are going to hurt if you don't resist them, so yeah, that's what I meant to say. So now we have Christina Meloetta here with Assault Vest, Serene Grace, Return, Relic Song, Knockoff, Close Combat. Pretty sure I already said the moves when repeating them. So I went to her Pirouette form to see what speed I would need to outpace his Floatzel, as Meloetta in Pirouette form does get 128 speed. So the stats basically shift. So Meloetta in this form has 100 HP, 77 attack, 77 defense, 128 special attack, 128 special defense, and 90 speed. In Pirouette form, she has 100 HP, 128 attack, 90 defense, 77 special attack, 77 special defense, and 128 speed, which is incredible. Very, very potent physical attacker. very potent and fast physical attacker. So with a Jolly Nature and 156 EVs, I do outspeed his Floatzel, and because of the fact that I do have 100 HP invested as well, and the fact that my defense boosts to 90, I really don't care too much for Aqua Jets, and the fact that my type changes does mean that I'm, whatchamacallit, I switched to normal fighting, which means that I am resistant to his Sucker Punches, and that basically means that I'm faster than every model on his team, and I don't take a ton of damage from his priorities, and I 2-hit KO every Pokemon on his team with the exception of Dusclops, although I'm not sure how much knockoff does to it. I'm not sure. All I know is, well, he didn't bring it. I'm just going to say that right now. There are 11 other mons on the team, so, you know, it's just, I could still pick 6. Anyways, so that's my team. My reasoning for bringing this Meloetta is because of the fact, well, okay, yeah, I did explain that. I said 2-hit KOs everything on his team. 1 or 2-hit KOs everything on his team. And it's just very, very useful, and she's just amazing. She is really the greatest mon ever, and I love her. But, whatchamacallit? But yeah, it just made the decision to bring her over me and Xiao and Mega Diancie even that much greater, because of the fact that Mega Diancie against his team really doesn't do very well unless she's out already, but I would need opportunities to switch in, and in this battle everybody on the team is playing their part throughout the entire match. It's not really a match where I'm going to be like, okay, I don't need this anymore, I have to sack you. No, it's just the whole team is involved throughout the entire thing. So I think that's all I really have to say about the team. So I guess we'll go ahead and do the replay now. Hopefully nobody wakes up while I'm doing that. But yeah, let's see how long I spoke for this. Okay, I thought it was longer. Alright, well, I will catch you guys in just a moment. Alright, be right back. Welcome back. Here we are. We're against Omega, of course. His links will be in the description below, as usual. It's a pretty good battler. Pretty decent. Can hold his own against the best of us, for the most part. Sort of. A little bit. Nah. All shade aside, he's pretty decent. So, he decided to rock out with Mega Ultria, what's its name? Cacturn, Rotom Heat, Tyranitar, and Excadrill, and what I'm assuming is a Sand Force Gastrodon, which he's used before, and I will, at the end of the battle, I'll let you guys know why I'm pretty sure it was Sand Force. So, scary looking, it would have looked a lot scarier if I had seen a Honchkrow instead of a Cacturn on the other side of the field, but I did understand what he was going for. He did want to make sure that Suicune couldn't run rampant, but unfortunately for him, he kind of played into my hands just a little bit with that Cacturn. You'll see later on. I think I've said all that needs to be said. Like I said a little while ago, make sure you check out Omega in the description below, and the GPC channel will also be there if you would like to go see some things. So he's gonna lead off Rotom Heat, and I lead straight away with my Dredagon. You already know my set. I wanted to make sure that Ultria would die if it decided to lead with it, but this does pretty much alert me to the fact that this Rotom Heat is definitely scarfed. So he's just gonna go ahead and Volt Switch out. I probably should have stayed in there, but I decided I might as well switch out. This is the main reason why Meloetta is AV and not Life Orb, because of the fact that it was the only real reliable switch I had into his Rotom Heat, and if I could get rocks up later on, I could take care of it rather easily. So we actually waited for quite a while. This match in its entirety took an hour and 20 minutes, and it only lasted 28 turns. So fun fact for you guys right there. So yeah, he's going to switch into Ultria here, which is interesting, because I thought he would go into his Tyranitar here, and that made me make a weird little play here, but, well, it's not weird for me, because Crobat is 100% safe for the most part, but I didn't realize until afterwards, I completely forgot that Ultria actually does have access to Pursuit. I'm not sure entirely what what that entails, as it is a Gen 6 egg move, but I remember passing over it back in Season 1 when I had it, and I was like, oh man, I could have put this to some good use at some point in my life, but it's whatever. Anyways, moving on. So Ultra is there. It's gonna go ahead and Dragon Dance here. I'm gonna go for a Super Fang. I just want to make sure that Ultra has taken some type of damage. Even if he wants to roost it off, I really don't care for it at the moment. So he actually reveals Draco Meteor, so that shows it did 70% to me. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to pause there. So it shows me that he is, well, one, he's mixed, of course, but it shows me that he bought that specifically for, I think, possibly Suicune, because of the fact that it's a special attack and does a lot more damage. It's 70% to my Crobat, which is almost max invested into HP. So here he's going to miss a Stone Edge. That's crucial. Now, I ran a lot of, when this happened, I had a ton of time after this because he took forever, like I said, to make his moves. But I ran a bunch of possibilities after this Stone Edge hitting for this match in its entirety afterwards, during this turn, and then at the end of the game again. And in the majority of them, he still, well, you know, I'll tell you later what I found there. But yeah, so he misses a Stone Edge there. I'm going to switch into my Suicune here because I want to take whatever attack he goes for. And he goes for another Stone Edge, and he misses another Stone Edge, which is so unfortunate. But had he hit the first one, he would not have gone for a second one. So I completely eliminated that when I was doing simulating stuff later on. You'll see. So I go for Toxic because he's not going to bait me into getting the Water Absorb, I think. Is it Water Absorb or Dry Skin? I don't remember which one that Cacturne has. But I'm going to go ahead and go into my low 5 again. And he goes for the, whoa, that lag spiked for a second. Now he just pauses for a second. So he goes for the Swords Dance here, and I was actually kind of frightened, but I remembered that Cacturne really can't do much to me. I'm pretty sure it doesn't learn knockoff, and Sucker Punch requires me to actually attack it. So I just decided to roost. So I'm gonna roost here, get all my nice HP back as he takes damage here, and whatchamacallit, his Needle Arm or Seed Bomb, whichever one is used, I don't remember what moves Cacturne really uses anymore, doesn't do anything to Crobat. So he's going for Sucker Punch again. I had to fog away the rocks, you just saw that. So he's going to go into Tyranitar here again. And I went for Roost, expecting him to stay in and try to Sucker Punch me again. I was very safe at the moment, so I really didn't care about that turn. So what I decided to do was go into Suicune here and see what he went for. He actually went for Stone Edge, which is a lot of damage. He actually hit it this time, so I actually got to see the damage. I was going to click Ice Beam here, 100%, and I was like, you know what, Rest is really safe, and I can do that really nicely, so very easily. So he's going to bring his Cacturne in, which is now at 10% because of Toxic and Sandstorm, and he pulls a double into his Ultria as I switch into my Celebi here, and I do have Thunder Wave on it, so he was saying that he finally made a good move, and he decided to switch out into his Rotom Heat, so I guess he made two good moves, because I decided to Thunder Wave right there. Rotom Heat was 100% safe, because I do not have anything to hit it with. I stay in here, because, not just because of the fact that that Volt Switch was incredibly obvious, but the fact that Overheat wouldn't be able to kill me either if he decided to go down that road, and because I am especially defensive Celebi, like you saw in the thing. But yeah, so I would have been perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine, but I would have been fine enough to do whatever. And I needed Rocks Up because it would have been it was really important for me to get the Rocks Up, because Rotom Heat switching back into them would be very nice for me, and allowing Metalowetta, wow, allowing Metalowetta to take it out later on, putting Ultria in a bad position for her, I guess, or him. I didn't see what gender. You know what? Let's move on. But yeah, so that was calculated. I went for Stealth Rock here as that happened. So I'm gonna switch into Suicune again here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. Only dog in trio. So I go for Suicune again, just because. Geez, where the hell did this lag come from, dude? I didn't see anything that just happened. Anyway, so as you see here, there are now rocks on my side of the field. I don't really care for them too much anymore, because as long as my rocks are on his side of the field, it's a much more detrimental situation for him than it is for me. So it's yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fire off an Ice Beam here instead of going for Scald, because I don't want him going into his Cacturne and getting all of his HP back. And this time he goes for Earthquake. He shows his Life Orb. That hurt quite a bit, but Scald, I didn't want to play around with that. He knows I'm clicking Ice Beam because of the fact that I was clicking Ice Beam before. He knows that I know his game, and he wants to try to play mind games with me, and that wasn't working. So I'm gonna go ahead. So I went ahead and clicked Scald, took out his Excadrill, and that was all she wrote with her. That's all she wrote alone. Forget it. So he goes for Stone Edge. Another 33% gone. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep clicking Ice Beam just in case he decides he wants to switch out. And because I really don't need Suicune anymore, and because Meloetta now has a chance to shine, she steps in, goes for that Relic Song, takes out that Tyranitar, and she is ready to dance on the enemy team. Footloose. Christina. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and click Return, take out this Ultra here. Now, what I was questioning after the match is the fact that he didn't go into Gastrodon first, because it's the only thing that could take an attack. But I'm fairly certain Return plus High Jump Kick. Actually, you know what? High Jump Kick, wow. Return plus Close Combat. Nah, never mind. He would have lived indefinitely from, oh wait, no, Close Combat is 63. And I have an Assault Vest, which means I would basically be at normal special defense afterwards, which means that he wouldn't be able to kill me. So we'll take a Gastrodon, but he would have then taken me out with Rotom Heat. He would have saved his differential, basically, if he had gone into Gastrodon. And I would have been perfectly fine to win later on. He would have saved his differential from being, well, you're about to see that. And you know what? I'll say that in a bit. But, yeah, so Christina is out here doing the finest of work. He's going to go for this Overheat here. Because I am now in Pirouette form, I have the lower special defense, so I took 45% of that Overheat, which means that I would have taken nothing from that Overheat in Aria form. But you know, it's a sacrifice you have to make sometimes, and the Assault Vest does keep me alive there, which is the main reason I have it, and that was incredible. So I'm at 10% now. He does bring out his Gastrodon now, and I'm going to go ahead and Close Combat it. Does 63%, which is very, very nice to this Gastrodon. Scald is going to take me out, of course, and I'm just going to go ahead and go into my Scarf Dreadingon and finish the game with Outrage, finish the game in style. I didn't want to waste this. Don't know who gets the kill for this Cacturne, to be honest. But yeah, he wanted me to go into Landorus Eye to finish the game, but I was literally the last 8 turns of this match getting ready to leave my house. So I really was not trying to do anything as far as that goes. Yeah, but that is going to be the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Enjoyed my little 2 a.m. commentary. Some nice stuff. But yeah, so I win 4-0 and should keep my 2nd place position this week, as long as yeah, Martigan lost, or I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's just Martin or Martine. I don't know. Someone tell me how to pronounce his name somewhere. I'm falling asleep, so I'll catch you guys later. Tweet me again. Alright, peace out. Make sure you check out Omega in the description below. Make sure you check out the GPC channel as well, and make sure that if you are new, you subscribe to me. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button for me, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Until we meet again, alright, peace out, goodbye.